All right, all right. Let me fix that real quick on Twitch. I'm pretty sure my stream says, oh, okay. Already fixed that. Cool. So I guess we're good. All right, who's there? Balogun, what up? Salute, salute, salute. Yeah, man. Starting in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, listening to some of that goodness right there. Okay, where is Maschine? I opened the Maschine. I don't see it yet. Ah, okay, got you. Yes, you can ignore those. Yo. Navi, what's going on? Or Navy. And DJ Mario, what's going on as well? Salute. All right, is my machine up and running now? Let me check that in the meantime. No, I don't need the vocals. These need to be on, though. Okay. I think I got to turn that audio up a little bit for the machine. Hold up, let me turn YouTube off for a sec so I can see. Thundercat, man. Super dope. But that's not what I'm doing right now. All right. I don't think that sound is coming through yet. I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Was this one coming through? Let's check that real quick. Okay, I'm hearing it. Y'all not hearing it, I think. Amadou, what's going on? Spark, what up? What up? Yeah, just checking some settings real quick. So I don't really understand why I'm not. I should be hearing the other audio, but I'm not hearing that yet. I want to know why. So let me see. No, that's not here. Because I want y'all to be able to just hear the computer, of course. The program you're seeing on screen now is FL Studio. And the other one was Maschine. So let me just grab that audio capture. You're supposed to be capturing this one, yes. Okay, so no, that is good. So I already tested this like a while ago, and I'm hearing it. But I can tell that it's not going through OBS. Chat, just a quick test. Can you hear the music that I'm hearing right now? Let me know in the chat. I don't think you're hearing the music yet. Some kind of, see? No, that's weird because I did a test like 15 minutes back and everything was perfectly fine then. Okay, so when I do that, it turns off. All right. Let me try one more thing. This shouldn't be it, but maybe it is. Let me just quickly see what happens if I... No, that's not it either. All right, I'll try to make a new audio capture. Ilnana, what up? Rexa, what's going on? Austin, what's going on? Steven, salute. Rexa, what did you say? You got the SC6000M. All right. Nice. Did I give input on them? I mean, I talked about I have the 5000M. I don't have the 6000, so I don't know what I told you about them. I mean, I love that 5000. I think it's really dope. But I personally have not used the newer version, the 6. But I need to fix something first. Let me just get that stream starting countdown out of the way. We don't need that anymore. Because I'm working right now, but the only way I can actually share my screen and have it make any sense is if you can also hear me. Because if you can't hear the audio, it doesn't really make sense to show this. And again, I tested this like 15 minutes ago. Could see the clear readout within the screen. So it's kind of weird that it's not working now. So let me see. That's weird. That should just be working as usual. Let me change a little something here real quick. Take that to Realtek for a second. And back. Nope. Checking the properties, see did anything change here? No. Yeah, what mixer did you get to go along with those 6000Ms? Mario asked a question. I want to know as well. Tina, salute to you. Thanks for following. So yeah, Rexa, let us know what's the complete setup now. You got the 6000s, and what kind of mixer did you get to go with that? Timothy, I kind of neglected to install the latest version, so I don't have an opinion about the new Engine Prime yet. So hopefully soon. And we got Australia in the building. Michael, what's going on? Mick P, I think it is. DJ Mick. DJ Knowledge, what's up? What's up? So okay. For the ones just tuning in now, Renee, what's going on? I'm sharing a screen, but I don't want to just share my screen. I also want to share my audio, and somehow we're not getting that yet. So if I can't get it to go now, I might just have to just quickly restart the audio interface, see if that makes any change, any difference at all. All right, so Tina from München. German neighbors in the building. Salute to all my people in Germany. We always got a lot of peeps joining us from there. Okay, so I have to... I'll just keep that beat running in Maschine. I have to look over because I have a monitor behind my monitor to help me see what... Oh, wait a minute. This is better. Okay, if I do this, then I can actually see the other monitor clearly. I'm working with 2 monitors today to allow me to have my working screen just be my working screen, and I have a screen behind there showing me OBS, and so I can do all the settings. But the weird thing is, again, this was working just fine a little while ago. So I'll quickly see if I can fix that here somehow. Audio setup. Yes, that's the audio setup. That's all working perfectly fine. I don't get it. So I'm just going to delete my audio capture and just make a new one real quick. Yes, remove the audio capture. Let's remove this one as well. Why? What is that? I've added so many layers in OBS. Sometimes you lose, kind of lose track of what is what in there. But I want an audio capture, the output capture. That's basically how I've done it so far, using audio output capture and choose my audio interface. And normally it will then just send out that audio. And somehow that's not working right now. No, so y'all can't hear the music yet. That's Raji. That's exactly what's the thing here. Oh wait, I missed it. Did Rexa mention the mixer already? Let me scroll. I didn't see that. Where's the mixer? Or wasn't it mentioned yet? Yeah, when you just faintly heard the audio, that's me turning up the speakers and then the microphone catches some of the audio, but that's not what we were going for right now. I can see Mario respond to Rexa, but I don't see Rex's comment. Oh, there it is. I guess it was late somehow. There it is. Okay. That Zone Mixer. I've never used that one, but I mean, I've heard good things about Zone, so. All right, you got all sorts of things going on in that setup right there. Dope. Mac the Maniac, what up? Yeah, so I mean, if I turn my speakers way up like this, but that's, yeah, I don't think people living nearby will appreciate that. And that's not the way you want to hear the audio. That's not the way I want to let y'all hear the audio. So that's not how I want to do it. Yeah, Rex's comment came through kind of later. I don't know what happened there, but it's I can see it now. I'm trying to use the stream chat within OBS. I see it works okay. It's a little bit later than the one I have on screen, but it works. Rookie, salute. And Sean G, appreciate you following. But we got to get this audio to work real quick. Let's see. Can I? Let me open that one more time. So yes, we have you. Doesn't make sense to go there. What happens if I go and do this? Doesn't work either. Weird. Yeah, no, that's not working. So what I can do is just reset that audio interface for a second, see if that helps, see if that works. I'm going to try that for a second. See what happens. Turning it off and turning it on again. Zoning Out Music, what's up? So basically when I make music, I do it with Maschine. And after I'm done in Maschine, and when I want to attempt to mix a track, I'll do that in Studio One. Or if I'm recording scratches for a track, I'll do that in Studio One. In the past, I used Cubase for a long time. And I've worked in other programs as well. I've engineered for artists in Logic. And what else? I mean, other audio editing software that can also be used to record scratches. So I've used anything from Audition to Audacity to, well, you name it. So Studio One right now is my main DAW, but I always start in Maschine. I'm still discovering Studio One. It has a lot of possibilities. That is very clear to me. You can do an amazing amount of stuff within it. And especially if I have like more songs and I want to like make an entire project, or the next time before we can start touring again ever, I'm probably going to use this to put together the entire show, because it has that option. So I can actually really try to get all the tracks sonically to line up well. So I see the possibilities, but I do truly still have to test most of that. Okay, yeah, so nope, the output is, I'm sending again, and I'm still not seeing that. Highly annoying, guys. I mean, I do the test in advance because I want stuff to work once I get in here and get you guys online. And now it's not coming through. So let me quickly do a little troubleshoot if there's a way I can get you guys to hear this in another way. Because I have my Rodecaster Pro here, that's what's giving you the audio from my mic. I'm gonna move the monitor back a bit so you can see what's going on here. So I have my mic here. So maybe I should connect my computer audio to that. But I would need a special cable for that. Or, oh yeah, that could be a thing. Let me take my headphone output into the ATA Mini Pro. Let's see, I think I have the right cable for that here. How is the music? Tina, is that what you're asking? How's the music? Let me know what you mean with how is the music. Oh, and for people tuning in, and this is your first time tuning in to this particular broadcast, Pluggin in is what I do on Sunday. That's where I just share my screen and show you how I work, what I'm working on. So that's what I'm doing right now. So this is not a mix live stream. I do mix live streams every Monday. So yes, we should have audio soon. As I've been explaining, I'm not getting the sound from the computer up through the stream yet. That's what I'm working on now. But just to be clear, so people know, this is not a mix live stream. I do that tomorrow on Monday. Every Monday you can find me here for Crates. That's my mix show. And every 2 weeks I do a show on Friday. So I was here last Friday. I need a specific plug. I think I have it here. And oh, that's the wrong one. Every Wednesday, I'm here to answer questions for DJs. Now, of course, I answer some questions during this broadcast as well. But that's the main agenda. So if you came today to hear me play music, that's not this broadcast. You will be hearing music in a second because I'm going to show you what I'm working on. And this should work. Let me do a little test. Let's see. Am I sending yet? Or am I not sending anything yet? Hold up. Quivo, what's going on? Cold-blooded, what's going on? Yes. Banjo Man, Jeff, appreciate you following. No, that's not the right sound. That's not what we want to hear. Okay, I can hear myself. I can hear the music there. Okay, so that worked. Okay, the music just went off again because anytime I leave my Studio One screen, it stops. But okay. That was audio, and I think you could hear that as well, right? Oh yeah, and if I turn my headphones up, it will turn that one up as well. So I have to turn this one down a bit. Let me do that. I'm gonna turn it back on. Then you'll have to let me know if it's loud enough. So let me go back in here. Go back a bit. See. Yeah, I think we can turn that up more. Turn that up a bit more like that. All right, so that should be working. We got Dutch Hutch. Am I seeing that right? Salute to you. All right. So chat, you got the audio now, right? Y'all can hear that, right? Yes, that is good to know. All right, so now I got to get to my other screen. This is Maschine, Native Instruments Maschine. Do we have audio on Maschine yet? Or is Maschine not giving us audio? If Maschine won't give us audio, then I'll have to just stick to Studio One for now. But at least that is working. Mixmaster G, what up, what up, what up? Welcome. And Papa, what's going on? Jers Mike, what's going on? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, the release audio in the background was actually on. I need to turn that off so we'll continue playing, zoning out. You were absolutely right about that one. That was still turned on. Let's see. What is Maschine doing? What is Maschine doing? Maschine is not doing anything? Okay. I had Maschine working a second ago, so that's kind of weird. And we got Denkai, what up? AKA Kayo, AKA a ton of different things. All of those AKAs. My boy. Okay, let's see. Just really Maschine? You know what? I'll just give Maschine a fresh start, man. Yeah, discard. Because this one was working. Oh, wait. Hold up. Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. We just had that audio. Oh, no, I understand. I understand. I think I understand. Let me quickly see. Boom, boom. Let's see if that changes anything. Yeah, got you. Okay. So I always start in Maschine. I'll restart Maschine just so we can see if it wants to play along. I don't know why it's not playing along, but that's where I normally start when it comes to the beats. Now, the thing I'm working on currently is a remix This is a remix that will be released pretty soon. A remix for a track by Brainpower, an artist out of Amsterdam, an artist I've been touring with for the last 23 years. And this is for a track that came out 10 years ago. A track he did with a legendary reggae dancehall artist called Yellowman. That track was called Mike Business. So that was a Brainpower Yellowman collaboration produced by Brainpower. So that track was really like kind of a reggae hip hop beat. So it had like hip hop drums, but sonically it had like a reggae feel to it. And cool track, of course, featuring Yellowman, legendary. And the track was basically for Brainpower. The track was about basically saluting reggae music as being like a father style to hip hop. It kind of helped birth hip hop, especially with some of the DJs also that came from Jamaica, including the legendary Kool Herc, who brought that typical style of DJing to the States, kind of introduced that style, and the way the DJs were MCing over tracks in Jamaica. I mean, a lot of that is what we saw in hip hop later on. But anyway, that's what the track Mike Business was about. And it's like a 10-year anniversary release EP, and it's gonna have the normal version and also an extra version with a lot more outtakes from Yellowman. That's gonna be pretty cool. He came to record here in Amsterdam, and yeah, there was just a lot more audio, so that's coming out. But Brainpower also wanted like a remix, sort of a different version. So that was going to be my task. That's where I came in to play, and I have to say it was kind of a tricky one because of the fact that the normal track is like a reggae hip hop vibe. I wanted to make sure that I was not just going to do another reggae hip hop type of beat, but something different. But especially when you're doing a remix and you're making new music for an existing track, if you make it different, you still want to try and catch some of the vibe from the original one. Not always, but I've heard remixes from tracks and the energy of the production was so different that it kind of took what made the original track dope out of it. And I didn't want that. I wanted to make sure I created something that would still give it that feel of the original, but in a totally different way. Yeah, let's see if Maschine has already started. Yeah, you can ignore that. Every time I have to actually delete that. Every time I want to open Maschine, it has to tell me that 2 files aren't there anymore, but I don't need those files anymore. So, all right, here's Maschine. Okay, so that's working too. Perfect. So like I said, I normally start in Maschine. That's just my go-to. I love Maschine. That's what I use to make my beats. A lot of times I'll even start on my phone or iPad using iMachine, and I just make sketches and take it from there. In this case, I think I just started on the computer. I didn't start on my phone. The first thing I did is I just listened to the original, because the most important thing is, even though it's a rap dancehall type of track, there are some melodic elements to the vocals. So you have to understand, like, if someone's just rapping and they're rapping in kind of a monotone voice, or at least not to a particular key, then it's easier to just interchange beats and play whatever. But for instance, when Yellowman starts out, he starts out with a little chant, singing a whoa and a lord. And he does that in, a key, or at least melodically. So if I play music and that music is in a totally different key, it's going to make the artist sound like he's singing wrong. So I had to make sure I found music that would fit the vocal better. So I'll let you hear part of that vocal in a sec, but just want to go to the main part of the song, the main melody for the song, and let me just solo that out right now. So this, turn that volume in Maschine up a bit. Now this comes from something I absolutely love, and that is the George Duke Soul Treasures. That's from Native Instruments. Now I remember I used to have the sounds from this this actual pack, and I didn't have the actual plugin. So someone gave me the sounds, and I used those quite a bit. I mean, George Duke, legendary musician, loved the way he played. And for Native Instruments, he actually just, they came to record him in the studio as he played like some of the instruments, like playing Rhodes and all of that, recording it high quality. So I had some of those sounds. So in the past, I made beats where I would take some of those sounds, some of those loops, and just chop them up and do stuff with them. But now I finally have the plugin, actual plugin, which allows you to play with the sample inside of the plugin. Moberry, what's going on? Maestro Damas, what's going on? Salute to you as well. And Riyadh, DJ Rizzo, salute. So with the plugin, let me bring that up right there, the George Duke Soul Treasures. This allows me to take a loop. In this case, it's like filled with loops, and you could take like the entire loop. You could chop a part out of it. Now in this case, so right here, I have the player. Now I have the loop, and the first thing I did, I love to reverse samples or parts of samples. And normally I would chop up a sample and maybe reverse everything or some parts of it, play it in different order. In this case, I have this entire loop here, but at the bottom there, it says reverse, and I can take these individual chops and tell the plugin which part I wanted to play normally or which part I wanted it to play in reverse. So let me just take that out for a second. This is the normal, the way it normally sounds. Oh, wait, you're not going to do that for me? Oh, my bad. I needed this one. I have two instances of it. This one, yes. So let me take them out of reverse for a second. This is the normal. I love that sound though. So that's just gonna loop like that. But now just by hitting that bottom, I can say, hey, reverse this part and this part. There we go. So I didn't actually chop it up all the way. I just reversed certain parts. Now the vibe is still the same, but by reversing it, you don't get the initial punch that the sample has at those points. But because it's reversed, you kind of get that draggy feel, which I really like about reverse sound. So instead of, so still the same sound, same vibe, but it just adds something a little bit different. But that's basically the main sound I use. Again, I love everything in the Soul Treasures pack. There's a lot of different loops on different instruments in there. Now within the plugin, you also have the option to change around a bunch of stuff. You can change the root note, so it'll play in a different key, play the entire sample in a different key, and then you also have the option to like add like phasers, chorus, and all of that stuff. But I kept it in its original form in this one because I wanted to maybe do stuff with it later, and I didn't want to do that here now. So that's the main sample. I think the next thing I did is drums. Like sometimes I'll start with drums, sometimes I'll start with the sample. In this case, I started with that melody, then I moved on to drums. The drums are divided into two different kits that I use. Now sometimes I'll just use the regular kit. I have a bunch, like an enormous amount of, let me get here. These are all like packs that are filled with kits. These are all like Native Instruments Maschine extensions. So I got quite a few, as you can see, all filled with kits, with drum sounds, other sounds, one shots, you name it. So a lot of times I will start with just using those kits, and within the kit I might use a couple of sounds. So for instance, this kit, the Black Robe kit, just like a drum kit. Now I actually already removed a bunch of the sounds that were normally in there. I'll start with that, and sometimes I might, after the fact, change kicks, but I want to have like a starting point, a point where I do a sketch. And a lot of times I'll pick a kit that has sounds that sound like they would fit, but maybe like sometimes like hours or days later, I'll listen again and I'll be like, okay, I need to find a different kick. And then you can just go to that particular sound, so in this case, the kick, and I could now go in here and browse through my sounds, pick drums, pick kicks, and just listen to a ton of different kicks. So I can actually just show you, like if I'm here, all sounds, drums, and then I can say kick. Oh, now it's just going to show me this bank. I got to go out of here. I want to see everything. So I can get the entire list as well. That'll show you like, but I'll just let you hear these. Like I can go through here. I listen to kicks, but like I could see all kicks also in one place from every extension. So sometimes you do that. You start with a beat, and then afterwards you're going to be like, okay, I need a different kick or snare, and I'll just search here. That's just what I have inside of Maschine. Then I also have like separate packs on the computer in a library, like a sound library that has a ton more, until I find the right sound. Hey, Road Dog, what's going on? Salute, salute, salute. Anyway, so I started out. Let me solo these drums right here. I see a new follow. Andres, salute to you. Thanks for following. So right here, so this is, yeah, that's soloed now. All right, so really basic. We got ourselves a kick and 2 snares. That's the starting point right there. This kick has the snare has kind of a lot of air in it, as you can hear. Maybe you can hear that, maybe you can't, but I already cut it a little bit short because it had a lot more in there. But that's just one snare. Then there is a second snare as well that you don't really hear here, but it's there. So that's a basic pattern. I kept the pattern this basic in the hook, but during the rest of the verses, I changed that around a lot. But I'll start out with just one pattern. You don't have to go out and do a ton of different patterns yet. That's more of an arrangement thing, but I have to have a starting point. Waves, what's going on? So that's just a couple of snares and a kick from one kit. But this kick right here is basically just a kick that adds a little bit of punch to the drums. Then I have to go to the second kit. That's this kit right here, the Conan Garden kit, and this one also has a kick that was added, and also a secondary a percussion type sound that serves as a snare. So you had this. That's the one kit. And then we're going to add the extra kick and snare from the other kit. As you see, that second kick is more of a beefy, almost like a low tom sounding kick. And that percussion, this sound right here, it's not a snare, but I have it under the snare. Like the snare itself is more of a sharper sound. This just adds a little bit of body to it, and it fits with two other sounds that I have in this drum pattern that you're going to hear in a second. So both. Oh, Il Nana salute. Duana check your later. Peace. All right, so that's that pattern. Then I have two percussion sounds right here. Those are 11 and 12. This one. And I've added those two to add a little bit of a sort of a swing to my drum sounds. And that sounds like this. So they come in right before the snare. So that adds a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of swing. I like the way it fills it up. And now you have those two percussion sounds and the percussion sound underneath the snare, all kind of working together. Right, then we have, in which kit is that? We have we have our shaker. And that shaker just adds more swing. Don't mind, by the way, important, don't mind the mix too much because I do not mix level up all the sounds. I do a little bit of like volume adjustment here, but I do most of that when I bring the project over to Studio One. You can hear that shaker in the background right there. That adds, again, more swing to it. That was achieved by adding this right here, the Supermassive by Valhalla, something I really like. Let me just state this real quickly. I am by no means an expert when it comes to making beats, especially not when it comes to mixing music. And I'm really trying to expand my horizon when it comes to all of the plugins and virtual instruments that are available. So I'm experimenting with a lot of this stuff as I go, including Valhalla. Really like what I've seen from Valhalla so far. And if I'm not mistaken, like all of their plugins are $50. $50 a piece, all of them. So I'm definitely going to get a couple more. But the Supermassive is one that I have here. And I like what you can do with it. It's like a delay, but it can do more than a regular delay. At least that's how it feels to me. So without the Valhalla active, you're gonna hear the shaker sound like this. That was what the shaker was doing. Now I've used shakers like this before, where I would play like a pattern going into to turn it into like a type of thing. But in this case, this is all it's doing. And once I added the Valhalla to it, you can hear that it adds the delay to it. So you got the main, and then it adds, and that gives it a nice little swing right there. Then I have one hi-hat, a close hat, that is just an extra fill-in underneath the snares. That's right here. That just falls on every snare. So again, I like to layer a lot of times, use a bunch of kicks, a bunch of snares. Not always, but I just found out that I kind of like it. And this is going to be in there subtle, but it just adds a little bit more to the snare. Then there's one more sound in this kit, and that's right here. That is a crash. That's a crash that sounds like this. That comes in once every, I believe, like 16 bars at the beginning. Just something that's a little extra. Hey, Brandon, what's going on? That you're going to hear every now and then. And at the end of the pattern, and that only counts for some of the patterns, there's this reverbed snare, and I believe that's in this kit right here. So let me solo this for a sec. Yeah, right here at the end, this one. Oh, let me first add this one. This right here, this is also a crash. Let's hear it. That's like a crash with almost a kick in it. And then right here at the end, you have like a snare with a lot of reverb on it. And I believe, yeah, that's just reverb from Maschine that I added to it. So just because I wanted that at the end of certain phrases to have like one of those highly reverb snares that kind of fit with the reggae theme. So without playing a reggae beat, I wanted some elements of it in there. Now that's not everything. We're getting closer, but then we have an important one to me. That's the open hi-hat. That's this one right here. That comes in right before snares. So same as that percussion, before the snare, you also have an open hat coming in before your snare. And you don't hear it a lot here. You hear it better in the mix on Studio One, but it's in there. So you can catch it sometimes. All right, and then last but not least, there's a hi-hat pattern that will come in every now and then. And that's really a driving force. And that's this one right here. Let me solo it first for a second. So as you can see here at the bottom, that's the volume. So you can see the volume really adds a little bit to it. So I played it in different volumes. You have a couple of the hi-hats, these right here, that stick out because they're louder. And that just adds also a little bit more swing to it. So that's what it sounds like in Maschine. Once I got to Studio One, I definitely changed that up, and it will sound different, a little bit different when you hear it. Do I have everything in here if I do it like this? So that's the ones from Maschine. And then right here. Oh, the volume is lower on Studio One, I think, for you. Or maybe not. At least it's a more balanced sound in there. But let me stick to Maschine for now. Oh no, Brandon, you don't have to draw. You don't have to draw. I'm not from the draw generation. I hardly ever do anything to draw. Now when it comes, I mean, I assume you're talking about the volume, right? You can drag these individually to make that happen. Or with Maschine, I can also go into a pad mode on Maschine. So let me go to that. Here it is. I have a pad mode. Right now, it's a fixed velocity. So anytime I hit this, it'll give you the same volume. Now, I could also turn that off. If I turn that off, depending on how hard you push, you get different levels of volume. But there's also pad mode that's called 16 velocities. And if you use that, then you have, so from really almost no volume to full volume. If you use something like this, and you take one that's like louder, and then you take some that are lower, then you could just do a pattern here. And then you have that difference, so you don't have to draw it, or in this case, So that's how I normally do it. I'll go into that velocity mode to achieve that. Now, after the fact, of course, if I've done a pattern and I hear like, hey, this one should be louder, then I can actually go in here and say like, hey, make this one louder or less loud. So that's an option, but I would never go and like draw all of those hi-hats in there like that. So basically, there you have the drums, and of course we had our main melody. And again, I did different drum patterns throughout the track, but this is like the main one right here that I used to start. All right, so now that to itself has basically no reggae feel at all. It kind of doesn't. It does still fit the vocals that I'll let you hear in a sec. But I thought one of the important factors was going to be bass. I needed something that would accompany the melody and kind of hopefully give it some sort of reference to a reggae type of feel. I went with a bass line that I found in Massive. Is my keyboard working? No? Let's see. Where are you? It's kind of a subby type of thing. I don't even know what. Let's see. What do you call it, Massive? What's this called? Yeah, it's just a Massive, a sound from Massive. Now you could play that on Maschine as well, and instead of going into velocity mode, you can go to keyboard mode, and it'll give you that, and you can of course just go down an octave or two. But I don't know. It kind of had a sound to it that I think would fit with the theme I was going for. BG Trash, what's going on? Salute. So I didn't play it on Maschine. I played it on the M32. I don't know if you can. No, you can't see it. Yeah, like this. There you go. That's my my MIDI keyboard. So sometimes when you want to play like melodies, even if it's basic, I used to do that with pads when I didn't have a MIDI keyboard. Then at times I did have a MIDI keyboard, and I think it's a little bit easier to play like melody type of stuff on that compared to on the pads. But everyone's different with that. So in this case, I played it using the pads, and this is the pattern. Now the short stabs, that was to me kind of reminiscent of, or gave it a little bit more a fitting feel to the reggae type thing they were doing compared to just having like steady tones. So if you combine that with the melody, and of course a bass will add all of that warmth, all of that thickness to it. And in the end mix also, it's going to be pretty much in there because yeah, bass. All right, so add those two layers right here. And again, this is just the first pattern. I also did different patterns when it comes to the bass line. But I think they went well together. One thing I forgot to mention, pretty important. Or did I not activate it? No, I didn't activate it. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So there's one more thing, and that is extra musical layers that I added, especially for the hooks, for the choruses, but also sometimes during the basic verses. That's you. Are you active already? I did that using Arcade. What did Mulberry say? Just started on tagging my library last night in the comments section of Serato. Claps, snares, downbeat, so I used to tag it. Let me see. So I mean, I understand tagging tracks, like adding extra information in the comments, but like what kind of tags are you adding if you say like clap, snare, and shaker and bass? That sounds like a total breakdown of the all of the layers of the tracks. So let me know how. Jury's Mike, thank you. All right, so why don't we have a working M32 here? Yep, let me just connect that again. See what's going on. Why aren't you seeing it? Let's see. Word, I got to do that again. OBS does not like it when I... Yeah, OBS does not like it when I connect and disconnect USB devices from the computer. Arcade. So I used Arcade. Let me open up Arcade. Oh, I was too fast. My bad. Who's that right there? Time Kabouter. Thanks for following. All right, so right here, just started using this. I mean, I've had it for a while, but I never got around to really work with it. Arcade by Output. And I have to say I really, really, really like the sounds they have to offer. So this is what I really liked about having a MIDI keyboard, even though somehow my MIDI keyboard right now is telling me that it's not working along with me. I don't know why, actually. Because I've actually used this to play all of this stuff, but currently it's not. Currently it's not showing up. So normally I would use my MIDI keyboard to control this. This is they have a bunch of different what do you call them? Like sounds you could load into it. It's not a sound, it's like a sound bank. This one is called Lazy Sunday. It's basically a guitar, and I just like the sound of it. That one right there. And there's a couple more. Use some of those as well. Just really like the sound of the this particular guitar, and you can adjust everything. You can adjust how much reverb you have in there. Character just does something to it as well. Lo-fi, wide delay, everything here influences the sound. Well, Jerry's Mike, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I've been making beats for a long time, off and on, but over the years, and basically any DAW will work. Like, they're all good. For a lot of you, it's just going to be the workflow might be a little bit different. So, for instance, I absolutely love making my beats in Maschine. Making my beats in Maschine because I love the workflow of that. I prefer that over being inside a regular DAW and using all of the instruments there, because you could actually just use Maschine as a virtual instrument inside a DAW. I don't know. I just like the workflow of just working in Maschine. And within Maschine, you do the same thing as in a DAW. You can use all sorts of plugins. Now, knowing what plugins to use, that's also just a fact, just a matter of experimenting, because there's so many plugins, so many virtual instruments out there, and a lot of them are going to be good. Some will have something different to offer. Some might sound a little bit different. But I bet there's probably like hundreds and hundreds out there that I have never even seen or tried that are going to be just as good. That's going to have to come later. Sorry. I'm going to send a message. So yeah, I'm just experimenting as I go. And even if you don't get any extra plugins, if you're like using a DAW and you have to do like EQing and you name it, the DAW that you get is going to have all of that in there already. So yes, you can buy like third party, and I do that a lot as well. And I'm currently in a phase of just experimenting, but I'm not an expert. So my experimentation will lead to me liking one over the other because of either the way it sounds or ease of use. But I'm not like, I don't have like an expert vision to tell me like, this one offers you more of this or that. I'm not at that level yet. So I'm just experimenting as I go. Same thing with this. Like, there's plenty of virtual instruments that will have like guitars and stuff in there. I know within Native Instruments, I have a bunch that I could install, but I ran into Output and Arcade, and Arcade is not just guitars. They have like all different types of things you can load into it. But I love the way it sounds, and it's all in played. All of these samples are like in a matching key, and you can change that key right here to fit with whatever you're adding it to. So that's dope as well. So let me just send a quick message. Yeah. Oh, wait. What is she doing? No. Got to do this real quick. I don't want to send a person to a place at a wrong time. Because someone thinks a meeting is tomorrow when it's a week from now. Okay. I'll get a message back. So yeah, that's it for me too. Like experimenting. Yeah. And yeah, Brandon, for me, like I started with, I mean, I've experimented in the beginning with computers and like early type of samplers. And then I moved to the MPC, and that was my go-to for the longest time because I just like the fact to have a Maschine, tangible pads, drumming on the pads, coming from like a drumming background. I wanted to be able to like bang on things. So I prefer that for a lot, but I did discover, like, especially when it comes to melodies, and I have no piano skills whatsoever yet. I want to learn. But when it comes to like playing melodies, that is more comfortable using like a MIDI keyboard. All right, so let's see. Is there a reason why we're not getting the M32? But whatever. So this is what I use sounds from. And I have right here, I have like just one sound that is like an accompanying sound for the main sample. I love that sound though. So this is really basic right here. And that goes along with and it adds a little extra to it. I think I put it even lower in the mix, or I made sure EQ wise, like right here, this is not EQ, this is just in Maschine. In Studio One, I definitely took a look at the EQ, and I tried to make sure that these two were not like battling for the exact same frequency, so you can hear both clearly instead of them like overtaking each other. So that is like one sound. I used that right before we got to the first hook. Then in the hook, I have it playing this. So with the melody, that's and in the last chorus, because this track actually starts with like an intro, then a chorus, then the verses, then a hook, chorus, more verses, and then another chorus. So the first chorus is just as is with the melody and a bass line. Second chorus is the melody and this guitar added. And then in the third hook, I have that same guitar playing. So this one. But then I added the other layer, and that's this layer right here. and those two are playing together. And they're all underneath the main hook. And then, of course, we got our drums and bass line playing there as well. So that's basically the track. And like I said, then I had different patterns. So the main drum pattern, the pattern in the hook is constant. It's just constantly doing boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom. That's it. Boom, boom, ta, boom, ta, boom. Boom, boom. That's what it's doing. Now, the main drums that you'll hear most of the time throughout the track are actually a little bit different. I didn't want to have the dum dum in there too much. So and on one time, hear that open hat on that snare. The last one, 3 kicks, and then the reverb snare. All right, so that's that. So that changes throughout, and then I did want to have certain parts in there where I kind of leaned a little bit towards the reggae side of the original, not by the different sounds, but by actually using or changing up the drum pattern in a pretty easy way. And I did that right here. So in this case, the drums aren't doing their normal pattern, but they're doing this. Now, what you may notice is I got kicks on all my 2s and on my 4s. Like a lot of time within reggae rhythms, you don't get like your regular, when you got your 4/4 pattern, it's not kick, snare, kick, snare. So not a snare on the 2 and 4, but you actually hear a 1 kick, 3 kick. So you got a kick on the 2 and 4. So that is more of a reggae pattern. On top of that, instead of having the normal melody play, I have a different pattern going, and that's still with George Duke. It's still using the same sample, but instead of just playing the sample normally, you got little chops, and they play. So they're playing this. Let me take. They're just doing that. So again, you got that same thing. What you can hear in a bunch of reggae tracks. It's not like reggae, but it's just giving you that vibe. This sounds really dry, of course, and this is where the Valhalla comes into play again. Now, on top of that, the bass is also playing a more chopped up version of what we had before. So you can already see when you're looking at it, a lot more staccato stuff going on there. Activate it. Which also gives it more of a, I don't know, I'm calling it reggae feel. I hope you understand what I mean by that, what I'm saying. So and then you got the drums. And the guitar. So that comes in, I think, twice in the entire track. But it's just to also the variation, and because on this particular part, we got Yellowman going. I didn't want Yellowman to go over just the hip hop drums the entire time, so I wanted to lean towards the reggae a little bit more. How long did it take to complete the project? Well, the initial beat took me longer than normal, and that was really because I was looking for the vibe that would actually fit the original acapella. That was important to me. Like, I needed something that would fit. So, like, if I'm normally making a beat, it would be a little bit faster than this. This took me longer. So I probably spent maybe a couple of days just experimenting and looking for the right sound and feel. Also, it's 82 BPM, so it's kind of a lower tempo, which is not particularly challenging, but it just took me a while to find that vibe. Skojo, what up? And just doing the drums and stuff didn't take me that much longer than normal. But this is only like part one. And because that took a little bit more time, I also had time to actually find the extra sounds. And I mean, this is more of a production thing when I'm talking about like adding sounds and additional sounds when you get further into the track. So having like your first hook be like the normal hook. So that's this one right here. That's the first hook. It has all of the elements going there. You got drums, percussion, you got your melody, and you got your bass line. Then when you get to your second hook, you have a guitar line. And then with the third hook, it's hard to hear it here, but you got that extra guitar in there as well. This one right here. So that is that when it comes to this part. Then there's one more variation. Also, let's call it a little bit more of a reggae variation, and that's this one right here. Oh no, I didn't use this version. My bad. No, I didn't. I don't think I ended up using this version. So let me just move over Studio One. So 1 second. If I feel that I'm done within Maschine, and I actually stick with Maschine for quite some time, because first you make a beat, then I do like to do the arranging here before I send it to Studio One to start mixing, because you can like do rearranging in Studio One as well, but it's easier for me to do it here just by adjusting patterns and then bouncing all of these tracks as audio files and then taking them to Maschine. So I did all of the arrangements in here, except for a couple of little dropouts and stuff that I did in Studio One. So I took all of these files, turned them into audio, sent them over to Studio One. That's where we're at right now. This is Studio One. Still quite new to it, but I'm really liking it so far. So in here you have all of the tracks. So you got your kicks right here. The two top ones are the kicks. Then I have the main snare, the secondary snare, the percussion snare, that reverb snare, and then you have one part here for a clap that'll come later in the song. What you see here is automation tracks, meaning that you can tell the program if you want to have a certain change happen to, for instance, volume. So in this case right here, I'll probably have to zoom in a little bit so you can see. Right here, there's a part where I was working and I needed the volume of the clap to go down a little bit at a certain point. And it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of hard to see, but right here, it goes down a couple of dB because more sounds come in. But that, if you just draw that in there, it'll do it for you automatically. Like back in the days in studios, engineers would have to do stuff like that live with the faders while they were like bouncing the tracks. Now we can do all of that. Let the computer basically do that. So I got my kicks and snares right here. Then I have percussion right here and one separate drum sound there. Then we got the dark ones here are the hats. We got one simple hat that's underneath the snares. You got the shaker. You got the main hi-hats. Then you got an open hat, another open hat, a cymbal kick, the crash, transformation. What up? Thank you for following. And all right, great to hear. That's dope. Then you got the bass line, a sub, which I can actually remove that because that was not used. I'll get to that in a second. And then we got horns. Horns. I didn't let you hear that in Maschine. I'm gonna have to go back in a second. But got the melody, the main sample that is, and then you have melody 2. That is where I have like the reggae version of the sample. Then I got the guitar 1, second guitar, and more guitar parts. And there at the bottom we have a vocal, and we have 2 channels for 2 tracks for scratching. Yes, there's some scratching involved as well. Monkey Man, salute to you. So that is what's happening here in Studio One. And just to bring this up, the first thing I do when I move tracks in here, so all my audio files in here, is on basically all of the tracks. So these meters are all set to 0 dB when you open a project, start a project. First thing I did is move all the tracks down like at least 6 to 8 dBs. So you lower the volume on all of this, because if I leave all of this in its normal volume and then I start to add any type of either like compression or EQ or effects, you name it, chances are things might get louder, and before you know it, your entire project is too loud. So you're basically turning all the volume down to give yourself room to actually still work on the audio. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here right now. Let me see for a second. Brandon says the stream went on delay, but you said about mixing, and I used to use Ozone 8 on an MPC Studio. Gave it to my cousin. All right. Yeah, I have Ozone on here as well. That's version 9. Still experimenting with the isotope stuff as well. So all of the volume went down. Then the first thing I do is I make a couple of buses. And basically a bus is one channel that can take a bunch of channels that will all go through that one channel. So you can do that really easily in Studio One. So I just selected all of my drum stuff, which was basically all of this. So I could just do Shift. I have the first one selected, Shift, take that one. And if I now right click my mouse, I can actually just add a bus for the selected channels. Now I already have one, so I don't have to do that again, but that's how easy you can make a bus. And then if I scroll here, I have one bus called drums. Let me just take all of these mutes and solos off. Now, if I just solo the drum bus, all you're gonna hear, you're only gonna hear drums. So it's easy when you're working and you wanna like listen to something without either the drums or without the samples. Having buses makes it a lot easier to do that. Do I need to bump the volume up for you guys over there? Because I don't know how loud you're hearing it. But anyways, the first thing I do is I go to my drums. And now everything is still in there, but I will actually just start with like kicks and snares. So all of the extra stuff, so the cymbals, crash, hats, let me take all of these out of the equation. That one I need, that hat I do need. I'll just start with simply this right here. And give me a sec, turn the audio off. Boom, boom. Come back in here. Oh, that's not much louder I I want to get a balance of my kick and snare. That's where I start. I have these on mono channels. I do that with my drums, use them on mono channels because I want that. It's hard for me to explain. Like I said, I'm not the audio expert, so some things are kind of hard to explain. Having them in mono will assure me that they're actually going to be right there in the middle, right dead smack where I want them to be. And it doesn't matter on what type of system you play. Even if the system is not stereo, I don't have to worry. Like if you, sometimes it happens in clubs too, that the DJs will set like the mixer to mono. If you don't notice that and you have like a track that has all kind of stuff in there that's really stereo when in the mix, you're going to kind of lose that when you're on a mono system. But having them here just keeps them dead smack in the middle where I need them to be. That's just for my kicks and snares and my bass line as well. But I start with my kicks and snares and I just want to listen and get like a balance where I feel like, okay, my kick and snare are kind of on an even level. And that's going to be a taste thing. Some people will prefer to have stuff louder. Some people will prefer to have stuff differently. That just is what it is. So actually, when I'm doing that, I don't even have these extra percussion joints in, just this. Now, next to having a balance, I want to start looking at the actual sound of stuff. So I might take that out and just focus on my kicks first. See what I want to do. So that's that main kick. And then we have, as you can tell, this one's not that loud. It's just there to be a little bit punchy. And when I take a look at the EQ on this one, this right here, the lowest end, I took a little bit of that out because I just needed this one to have some push to it compared to this one, because this one has all of its low end. This is the lower one of the two. I don't need two kicks to be in that same lowest frequency, so I took some out of the other kick. That other kick is more of just the little bit of the punch adder, and this one is more of the, this one has a little bit more of that oomph to it. But together, yeah, it just works for what I needed it to be. You have totally different kicks out there. Some people might have used totally different kicks for this project as well. So it's a feeling thing. I think that's important. Like, don't focus too much on what people say is right or not. You need to find out what you feel is right. Especially if you're making the music, it has to feel right for you. Same thing with the snare. That's the main snare. Second snare just adds a little. And a percussion snare. I'm in a part where there's no percussion snare. Okay, let me go back. Here we go. So the percussion snare just adds a little bit of tone and flavor to it. And I added a bit of reverb to the main snare because it was actually a little bit too dry. So without, it's kind of hard for me to hear actually right now. I'm monitoring it a different way, but it's minimal. Probably, let me see. Oh, it's not even that minimal. It's 20%, but it's not like a heavy reverb. But I wanted, like, I'm listening to stuff solo now. So I'm listening to it solo. A lot of times when you're like doing a mix or trying to set stuff up, you don't want to listen to everything solo too long, because I can listen to a snare like this and hear a particular sound, but then when you add the rest of the music, you might be like, whoa, wait a minute. So that's what happened here. I just felt that the snare needed a little bit more reverb. And even though I'm not hearing it here, I know I could hear the difference when I heard it with the music. And so let's turn that back on.
Bringing it to your.
No, that's everything. Drums. Oh, sorry. All right, so I'm I'm missing my other hi-hat. Why am I not hearing that yet? There it is. Needed that in there. I wonder how many collective hours I've spent auditioning kicks and snares. Yeah, I mean, I like sometimes when I start making a beat, I'll do that. Like I'll start by searching for a sound. And if you got like hundreds or thousands of kicks and you're going through them one by one. Yeah, I've been there on plenty of occasions as well. Yeah, that's part of the process for real. So Mulberry, is that the rim shot? Sorry, I didn't see that comment in time, so I don't know which one you were referring to. But I basically have a bunch of different snare or snare type sounds in there. It's not really a rim shot in there though. And Navi, salute to you, man. I'm saying Navi again. It might be Navy, but I'm saying Navi. You let me know what it is. All right, so that's where I start. Get those drums to where I think they're right. Then I want to know how they sound combined with the bass. And there's a lot of bass in this one. And what I normally do, like right now I'm just checking on headphones, but I'll listen to my NS10s, my monitor speakers, most of the time. And then every now and then I'll switch to the RM7s that I have above there, and they have a more colored sound, so there's more bass and everything in there. And when I started out, the sound on both of them was completely different. And I mean, they're not the same speakers, so they're not going to sound the same. And it's good to hear stuff on different systems anyway. So a couple of different speakers, your phone, because a lot of people will listen on their phone. So you listen to different speakers and different systems. But at a certain point, after I continued working on the mix, at a certain point, it did get to a point where it actually sounded, decent on the NS7s and on the RM7s. So somehow the difference became a lot smaller, meaning that I definitely found a balanced sound. Let me just say it like that. Anyway, so that's where I start. I try to get the drums and the bass working. That's going to be the middle part, the beefy part of the song, and then you add like the samples, the musical elements that you have, like instruments, you name it. So here's the thing, guys. I'm not actually sure how much of the track I can play with vocals, but I just want you to hear the beginning part where you hear Yellowman, and I actually want to bring in Spotify for a second, just to let you hear part of the original for a sec. I think this is the easiest. Yeah, that is the easiest way. There we go. Okay, we got sound. I'll turn that down a little bit. So this is the original. As you can tell by the bass line and everything, it has like a really the reggae vibe to it. So we hear the woes and the lies. That has a tone to it. So you're looking for music that will fit that. Then we get to the hook part. Here we go. Start. This is my business. Start. This is my business. My business. Start. This is my business. Start. This is my business. My business. Sample we did this. This is my business. My business. Yeah. Step across. Yeah. I'm feeling you. Lyrically, I'm seeing force. We bring it into your boss. Take it to a flight with BB. I'm Mr. Force. So as you can tell, like it's a hip hop beat, but it has a heavy reggae vibe to it, heavy reggae sounds. So I mean, I didn't want to fall into the trap, and I actually asked him like, "Yo, B, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to like make something that has that vibe, or just go for something totally different?" He was like, "Nah, I try to do something that's totally different." So that's why I just went for a totally different beat. But yeah, it was a little bit challenging at first because you are stuck with that reggae vibe in your head when you start out. My monitor speakers are so good on my ears for longer listening, and then in my car, that sound cranks. Yeah, yeah. Momo Skill says this sounds like echo. What sounds like echo? The overall audio that you're hearing, or yeah, let me know. All right, so I got that vocal in here as well because I want to let you hear something that I did to make it a little bit more my own as well. Let me actually solo that first. No, I want to hear myself again. I'm working with double monitors right now. Let me put this back in. I'm working with my in-ear monitors to hear my voice because that's coming from the Rodecaster. I just prefer to hear my own voice through the headphones as well. And this one is giving me the sound from the computer. So Skojo, how often do you say I've discovered or created a great hook? Not that much because I don't really write songs. So especially when I'm making a beat, in this case, like a remix, there is already like the song already exists, the original song. So the hook is already there. So that's not what I created. And when I'm making beats, I mean, sometimes you will have like a particular part that makes you say, yeah, that's like the hook part, but I don't really create hooks. Let me just read real quick. The samples about the beat. You do better. We're hearing a slap delay on the vocals. You mean the reggae track I just played, the original, the one on Spotify? Because I haven't been playing vocals from the remix version yet. But okay, we'll see. So if I played, I got the acapella right here.
Ja Rastafari, King Yellowman, Brainpower. Oi.
So he starts out like that.
Oi. Brainpower, lad. Oi.
So after that, you get that hook part where it says Jamaica music, started this mic business, started this mic business, mic business.
Jamaica music, started this mic business. Mic business. Jamaica
You hear the gaps right there?
Started this mic business, started this mic business.
There's a reason for that. I'll let you hear.
Jamaica music, started this mic business. Jamaica music, Brainpower.
Yo,
Step cross.
yeah.
And tell the people.
So I had the original, but I thought like I want to make this more my own. Of course, I'm providing the music for that remix, but I want there to be still a little bit more of my own touch to it. So what I did is I took that acapella and I added a couple of slight little extra things to that beginning. So if I play that beginning again,
Rastafari.
where we get to the whoa and the lad,
King Yellowman.
it's about to come in.
Brainpower. Oi. Lad. Oi.
Real subtle little cuts right there.
Lad. Oi. Lad. Oi. Lad. Oi. Lad. Oi.
Here we go.
Jamaica music, started this mic business. Mic business. Jamaica music, started this mic business. Started this mic business. Mic business.
One more.
Jamaica music, started this mic business. Business. Jamaica music.
So that way, it's not just the normal acapella, but you give that hook even a little bit more of a hip hop feel. Momo, this is Studio One. This is Studio One. What I'm using right here. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a variation, but it can do a lot just by adding that to it. So if you hear that with the
King Yellowman,
actual music,
Brainpower. Oh, Lord.
real little cuts there.
Oh,
Didn't want to overdo it there either, you know?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
And then that hook part.
Jamaica music started this mic business. Mic business. Jamaica music started this mic business. Started this mic business. Mic business.
One more cut.
Music started this mic business. Business. Jamaica music. Brainpower.
Yeah.
Step cross.
Yeah.
And tell the people.
So yeah, man, that's just how you can add a little bit of that, a little bit of your own sauce to something. And of course, I feel especially a hip hop DJ, if you have that opportunity, you want to add some cuts to a track. That's what I just love to do. So I'm pretty happy with the balance that I got going on, and I think we're mostly there now. Mind you, very important. I'm just doing the mixing, which is a great challenge for me because it's not my profession, but in this case, that's the way it's gonna go. And it's a great opportunity for me to not just experiment, but feel that little bit of extra pressure because I know this is actually going to be released. This will still be professionally mastered. So what I'm going to end up with here is not going to be the final touch, but it's not like mastering is going to drastically change what you put together in your mix. But they do have that ability to add that final touch to it that it might need. Now, I've done some processing. I didn't go overboard also because if you're not that familiar with how everything works, yes, you can experiment, but this is not a track that I want to do like crazy experiments on when it comes to that. So you got a little bit of that, a little bit where it's necessary. Now, EQing is something I do on tracks. So with a lot of tracks that have more of a mid and a high purpose in the track, I make sure that I take all of the low end out of those tracks because they don't need it. And even if I don't really hear anything when I listen to it, there could be some rumble in there and there's just no need to have it there. So for instance, in a hi-hat, you don't need to have like the low frequencies aren't in that, so you don't need them there at all. So yeah, I mean, I understand, like especially zoning out. That's a great point too. Like especially like I know I'm sharing my screen and my audio, but you're listening to something that's actually indeed going from my computer to Restream. And from Restream to, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you name it, going through all of their compression and being sent out in a lower rate. So you probably get an idea of the balance, but I know it's not going to be the same thing that I'm hearing here through the speakers. And then I've referenced it on the phones, and it's definitely beginning to get to where it needs to be. Also the balance between like vocals and the music, how is that sounding? Now, I don't make those decisions by myself. I mean, I do it, but in this case, then I send it to Brainpower because I feel it's very important. Now, first off, I wanted to make sure, is he feeling the vibe? Now, he was definitely feeling the vibe that I was on. It's totally different than the original, but especially when it comes to vocals, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. So I want to make sure he's happy with what's going on there. I'm not just gonna say like, hey, this is it. He has to be happy because I mean I understand the vocals are super important to them, and that needs to be right. And I can have a little bit of my own interpretation, of course, because it is my mix. So it doesn't have to be like my vocal has to be the same volume in relation to the music compared to the original. It can be different, but it has to be right. He has to have a good feeling. It's going to be his release, so he has to feel right. Yeah, I want to try some of those PreSonus monitors as well. Mo Berry, whatever happened to Fruity Loops? That's FL Studio. And they're up and running to the fullest. Like FL Studio is like 100 times what Fruity Loops back in the days used to be. It's one of those DAWs that I definitely want to also test one of these days. So FL Studio is like a full-fledged DAW with mad possibilities as well. So couple of things. There's like one little break in there. Oh yeah, I was talking about the horns. Now you can hardly hear those horns. They are.
Yes.
Let me see. They came in, I think.
King Yellowman. In a combination.
Let me see. Did I leave them in or did I not even leave them in? Horns, horns, horns. Yeah, they are here, but there's you can hardly like. Let me solo this. This is like super quiet, and I think at the end when it's done, this is something that when you're listening to the track and you're playing it, you're listening to it on some good headphones, that you might notice it maybe after the second or third listen, like, wait a minute, there's what's going on there. Now that horn is actually just playing the exact same thing as the bass line is playing. It was also in that same kit in Maschine, and I just ended up like trying it out, just moving the MIDI pattern from the bass to the horn. It's like a super low type of horn. But when it's playing with that bass line, it's just a sneaky little addition that you're hardly gonna notice, but it's gonna be there. Like,
Brainpower.
like this, you're probably not even hearing it.
Amsterdam. Rotterdam. The Netherlands. Number one. Champion.
Those are like little funny things to try out. I just knew the horn, if it was going to be in there, it was going to be like super undercover. It shouldn't be like an overpowering thing. But still, if you're listening from the track from start to finish, you still get like every now and then a new little layer is added. Like this is all the way towards the end, but still it's a new change that you haven't heard before, which overall just makes music more interesting. There's going to be an instrumental version on that EP as well. So on the instrumental, it's probably going to be even more clear to hear it because now you got vocals over it. You're probably focused on the vocals when you're listening to it, so people might not even notice it that much. Fruity Loops with an Akai is very good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I definitely want to try FL as well. And that I forgot the name. The Akai came out. It's the Akai Fire, right? That's the controller they built for FL. That would be a dope combo. I can imagine that. Yes. So that is that. Now there's one other thing in here, but I'm not gonna play that just because I don't want to give it away. Not like it's that like amazing, but it's just something I don't want to give everything away in here. I think I went through quite a lot. So this is basically, and I definitely didn't show everything. There's like certain stuff. Come on, man, cut it out. Yes. Certain things I did on certain channels, like EQing or adding a reverb, some transient for a certain sound, but not anything that's really important to mention here. A little bit of a compressor on that bass line, using Neutron for that, experimenting with that. I have a ton of different compressors, but I'm still learning compression, so I try to stay away from compression for the most part. One thing I did add over the master, I absolutely love this EQ, the Better Maker EQ. That is one of my favorites, even though I haven't even messed around with too many of the settings. The boost settings on this to boost like some highs or lows, I love that. Sometimes I use the low boost on kicks, and it gives them like really a lot of power. But like adding a little bit of boosting that high a little bit just adds a brightness that I really like. Yeah. T11 before let's see. An acapella. What for doing acapella, do on a song original. Momo, I'm not sure if I understand the question. So just in case that is the question, because I'm working with the artist here, I just received the acapella version, so I didn't have to get that, make that somehow. I have the original track, I have the original instrumental and the original acapella, so that allowed me to do this. Now, if you have a song and you want to make a remix and you don't have an acapella, nowadays you do have tools that can help you to achieve that. Some of the DJ software now has that option. So within Algorithm DJ, you can now do that. And Virtual DJ has a feature like that too. And I also have something by Isotope that can also do that for me. Let me check real quick if I can show that for a sec, because I think I just need to do that in RX, in the audio editor, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not sure if that was the one. I haven't done it in a while. I feel that was the one that I used for that. Let me see. Are there any songs in here? I don't think there's anything in here now, because I don't use this for music. Let's see. No. If I have something here that I can use to show you real quick. Could I do it in this one, or did I just open the wrong track? I think I opened. Was it actually in the audio editor, or did I need another one? No, I don't think it's in the audio editor. I think I opened the wrong software. Damn it, which one did I do that again? It's in one of those Isotope things, but I don't think it's this one. That also allows me to take the separate the acapella from the rest. And RX is dope for like audio restoration and editing. But the thing I'm looking for now, I believe it is in here. I used it when I just got it, and I didn't use it afterwards. Oh yeah, no, that's not it. RX users, was it in this one that you can separate it, or is it somewhere else? No, that's just so if we have an RX user here now, oh wait, or was it in this one? Looking for it. Which software? Sorry, Momo. For separating, so you got a couple of DJ apps that can do that. You have Algorithm DJ and Virtual DJ. They both have in Algorithm DJ, it's called Neural Mix, and I forgot the name in Virtual DJ, but Virtual DJ has the same thing. And there's a way to do it in one of these Isotope plugins, but I'm not finding the right one. It's not in here. I thought it was in here though. If it's not in this one, then which Isotope plugin is it? Guys, any of you remember which isotope plugin you could use to also separate the stems? You got the audio editor? No. It wasn't a neutron. It wasn't an ozone. Was it in tonal balance? Was that in tonal balance, guys? I don't remember. I wanted to show that, but I don't remember. So I'll have to look that up on a later date. All right, so that's it when it comes to this track. That'll come out in, I think, a couple of weeks. So I'll probably have to give that a couple more listens also to see, like, at certain points I've cut into the track. So anytime you cut into the track, you have to make sure, now, not with these cuts, but for instance, with the bass line, if you cut stuff out and bring stuff back in, you have to make sure that you check the fade on that, because if you don't, you might end up with nasty clicks and ticks, and you don't want any of that. So by adding a slight fade, a fade in and fade out, you could take care of that. So for instance, here you can see that there's like a fade. I mean, I could pull this back. It's more of the track there, but I have a fade because I cut this up, and then when I listen back, you can hear like little, and you don't want to hear that. Now, especially in this case, working with Brainpower, because Brainpower has like this, he has like bat ears. You can hear everything. So any like little click or tick in the track, he's going to hear it. Like, what was that? Rewind it, look for it. So I want to take all of those out. Our Virtual DJ 2015, digital. Yeah, you need the new version for that to separate the stems indeed. Yeah. Yeah, Mulberry, I was just using RX editor from Isotope, but I forgot where that feature is, how I could turn tracks into stems, because I should be able to do that with this as well. But I forgot what it's called in I forgot what it's called inside RX. Yeah, so zoning out. I'm in RX8, but this is the RX8 audio editor, and I thought, I mean, I'm pretty sure I used it from this window, but I forgot what it's called. Native Instrument does stems. Are really Mulberry? In which application do they do stems? I mean, Tractor. If you're talking about Native Instruments, you're probably talking about Tractor. Tractor did stems, but they had software like the Tractor would allow you to play stems, but it didn't make the stems, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's Music Rebalance, Sammy. That's the one, but that's not in RX. That's a separate thing, right? Or isn't it? Like, I just don't remember. Because the rebalance isn't in here, right? This is all just the repair features. And then with the utility, but that's not standalone, was it? You couldn't use that standalone, I think. Or can I get to it from here? The rebalance thing. I forgot. Yeah, with Tractor, I never got it. Never really picked up though when that came out. There was a separate app you could use to also make the. Here we go. We got it. Thank you, Sam. I forgot the name. Rebalance. I didn't see it here, but I'm probably just my eyes are probably deceiving me. But I found it here. So this basically did the same thing.
Here the club should be open unless I'm in that motherfucker. Come on, come on, come on.
Hey. Stop. You could set it up and take stuff out, and let's preview. Computing preview.
This is really starting to feel like this time.
There we go.
Okay.
Acapella.
Now I want everybody to do what they know they're supposed to do. Cause y'all know who in this bitch. Front and center. Come on.
same thing. I could just take the vocal out and just have the percussion in there. And that would sound like this. I don't like what that's doing here, but you have the options to change the separation or change the quality. Sounds a little bit better, but I mean, this is not really the right track for it because, to be honest, I don't like the way the Busta Rhymes songs were mixed. When you listen to the normal version, it sounds kind of strangely mixed. See, that's like really overpowering on all levels. But what this also allows you to do, if you have a track, for instance, that has too much bass in it, instead of using an EQ, if you use an EQ and you take out bass, you basically are taking out the low frequencies of the entire track. If you use music rebalance, you could say like, hey, I need this song, but the bass is just too heavy. And it will just look at the bass parts and lower the bass and leave the rest in. But I mean, again, this is not the right song to use because the quality is... But still, you can hear a lot of basses taken out. Now, this is just mixing, but if I hit separate and render, it will give me separate tracks. So that's what you can do in RX8 using the music rebalance. But again, I have to say... this was the last freaking track I should have used to show that example because the track by itself does not sound good at all. If you use a track that has a better, just sounds better sonically, your results are also going to be better. But Isotope definitely works. So yes, that is how you could achieve to get an acapella to make a remix of a track that doesn't have an acapella. But in my case, I didn't have to do any of that because I have the acapella. It was made available to me by the artist. So that is the way to go. That's going to give you better quality than using any software to make a stem. Getting the actual acapella straight from the studio is always going to be better. But yeah, that's basically the process that I use, starting in Maschine, starting with the project here, making the beat, rearranging stuff, then exporting all of this as audio. So bye-bye Maschine. I'm going to close you. And then opening all of these audio files in Studio One and make little changes here and there. So you can see like I have like parts where you can see stuff has been cut out. Those are also like small arrangement things that you do. Like at a certain point, like Yellowman is doing something, and at a certain point, right before it goes into a new phrase, I wanted his last little sound he made to have a little more impact. So you might jump in and just take out all of the music around there. Is that here? No, that's not here. That's probably here. Yeah, so here, if I take let me take the mixer section out of the way. So right here, it's really small. So right here, he says a little, makes a sound. Like oink. But right there, because after that it goes into a new phrase and the beat like comes back in. It's coming from a reggae pattern. It goes back to that normal drum beat. Just to give it a little impact, you can just like cut out the music parts there. Same here. Took a couple of the sounds out, basically in the music. So no bass, no sample. And the sample is playing right before that. So boys and girls and man and woman. It's real subtle, but those are little things that I'm not going to try to do those in Maschine. That's not actually, in Maschine, it doesn't work as easy as in, for instance, in Studio One. So stuff like that I'll do here. This also has a real easy editor. So for instance, if I'm in here and I have to adjust anything, whatever, here, if I want to adjust something within that guitar, double click, bang, and now I can make any adjustments right there in the panel. And then if I want to make edits to a different one, I just click on it, and now they'll all appear in that editing window. and I can close it again that easy too. Same thing with that mixer. Bring it up, take it out. Yeah, I like the way Studio One works. I still have to discover a lot of the features and work with it more, but I'm liking it. All right, that's it for now. I'm going back to work. This is Plugging In. Now, if you want to see me mix, you got to be here tomorrow. Every Monday, I do my show called Crates. Let's get that up on the screen because that is the easiest way to do it. Stream ending. Bang. That's a little bit much right now, so let's just take this out of the way as well. No, that doesn't really help you guys. Let me just end my display. That makes it a lot easier. So let's take that display capture out. Boom. There you go. Right. So I'm here tomorrow, Monday, with Crates, rocking some music, and after that, I'll be here on Wednesday with STK Live, Share the Knowledge Live, my Q&A show for DJs. Momo Skills, yes. Salute. And then again on Sunday we're plugging in. That's the schedule for this week. So you know what, find me. And that's it. Salute to all of you. Thanks for being here. I hope this added some value. If you want to see some of my old mixes, here's some of my old mixes, old live streams. You can check me out on mixcloud.com/DJTLM. If you want to watch me on YouTube tomorrow for my live stream, you can watch me on my old YouTube channel, DJTLM. So youtube.com/DJTLM. And otherwise, you check me on Mixcloud or on Twitch. Yeah, so to all of you, salute. See you next time. Thanks for joining. I got to go. Peace.